Hi everyone, welcome back to Travel 101 and welcome back to another travel video. Today we are talking about how you can pick the correct and the right transit hotel from Shanghai Airport. This video is particularly important to anyone who is actually potentially applying for the visa-free transit in China. If you're interested in learning more about how to apply for the visa, I will actually link that at the end of the video. I've made 2 videos, a checklist and a walkthrough to cover all bases for you. Now back to this video, and I'm going to be running through all the points that you need to watch out for and to look for so you pick the correct hotel to transit in. Alright, so if you're ready, let's dive straight in. Now, to give you a quick backstory, I have stayed in 2 transit hotels when transiting at Shanghai Airport. There are a few things that I will not be doing again when I transit in China, and there are also a few things that worked out seamlessly that I'm going to be sharing with you as well. So on both occasions, I actually was required to call the driver when I arrived at Shanghai. Now, you need to make sure you have access to a phone that will allow you to call the driver, who will then tell you where exactly you need to go at the airport to be picked up. Both times I was required to go to the departure section of the airport, which was a bit of a walk, especially when you arrive at the arrival section. So bear that in mind if you are using a hotel that has a free shuttle service. Now, the second point you need to make sure you check when you actually use a free shuttle service from the hotel is to make sure you have the driver's correct phone number. Now, we actually did not have the correct phone number the second time around. I did manage to get on the internet to find the hotel's number and rang that a few times and nobody picked up. So unfortunately, this did require us to actually get a taxi from the airport to the hotel. It wasn't overly expensive, but the whole point of it was that we actually booked a hotel that had a free shuttle to and from the airport. So it was quite disappointing that we ended up having to actually pay to get to the hotel. Now, to get a taxi from the airport to the hotel, we actually ended up having to ask 4 to 5 taxis if they actually knew where the hotel was. The address we had was in English characters, and not all taxi drivers can actually read English characters. So before leaving your country of departure, make sure you get the address of the hotel translated into Chinese characters. So worst case scenario, if you do have to jump in a taxi, you will actually be able to show them the address and they'll know exactly where to take you. Another point is that both hotels we stayed at actually did not have ATMs. Now, we did require money when we got to one of the hotels to purchase some items from the vending machine, such as drinks, some snacks, because we arrived at a really odd time and room service wasn't available anymore. Unfortunately, there was no way for us to withdraw any money at both hotels, so we suggest before you actually leave Shanghai Airport to withdraw some money. So worst case scenario, you have some money on you if you are quite hungry and you want to purchase something from the vending machines. One of the things that I look for in all transit hotels, no matter where in the world, is I always try and book a hotel that has free shuttle buses to and from the airport. Generally, they run quite regularly, so you should have no problems. With the first hotel we stayed at in Shanghai, we had no problems getting to and from the airport. We arrived at the hotel close to 11 PM at night, and our flight the next morning was very early, and they had a shuttle bus there at 5 AM ready to take us to the airport. Unfortunately, the second hotel we stayed in, their cutoff for shuttle service was actually at 3 PM. This actually meant that we weren't able to get to the airport using their free shuttle service any later, and this was quite distressing because our flight wasn't till later that evening, so we ended up getting the free shuttle service and had to wait at the airport. It was just one of the sacrifices we made to save a few extra bucks. Unfortunately, if we knew this earlier, we would have actually booked a different hotel. But in saying that, if you do double check everything with the hotel, such as phone numbers, departures of shuttle buses, you shouldn't have any of these problems. This is just something that we just didn't look into. And the last point that I always try and do when I stay at airport hotels is I try and book a place with breakfast. And I'm very glad I did this when I stayed in one of the hotels in Shanghai. Because we had a very early flight and breakfast was available early, we were able to get something to eat before we left the hotel, which meant we saved a little bit more money. And as well as that, both of the hotels didn't have any shops around them, so that worked out in our favor. So if you're wondering which hotel I stayed at that I spoke highly about, I will link that at the end so you can have a bit of a look and decide if that's a suitable hotel for yourself. I personally will be actually staying at this hotel again if I do transit in Shanghai. Okay, so we really hope that clarified a few points on transit hotels in China. From my personal experience, it was mostly quite seamless and I would have no problems doing it again. If you have any more questions, make sure you leave them in the comment box below. And as always, thank you so much for watching and we cannot wait to see you in the next video.